Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hot Seat. I'm Sasha,
I'm Solomon.
And I'm Jenna.
and today we're going to be talking about one of the most famous stars in Hollywood, Zendaya and Tom Holland. Are they married? Are they not? What is going on here?
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they were married, because they've been together for, I don't know how many years, but they've been together for a long time. And I will say, one of Tom Holland's posts, or either or, like it just has like the ring emoji, and under that it was like a description like this isn't confirmed news kind of thing. So that was very interesting to see. So I don't know if like one of them paid to get that under that, or just Instagram was like, we don't know if it's true. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Solomon, what do you think? Do you think they're married?
I don't think they are, but they also could be. I mean, I don't feel like that's something to really hide, you know? But they've obviously hidden a lot of their relationship anyway.
yeah.
But they could be engaged.
Yeah.
That's why I probably think that what's happening.
I kind of think that they are married, and they're just like taking the opportunity to kind of just like not tell the public everything, which I just think is so interesting. Like, it is definitely important to like have parts of your life that you're not telling everyone in the entire world. So I kind of think that they're being a little sneaky,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I mean, they've always been kind of sneaky about the relationship. Like, before they even got together, like, there were people being like, oh, like, I think they should get together. Or, like, they have really good on-screen chemistry, and they should, you know, take that a step further. And then here we are now. Like, now there's allegations that they're married. So,
Yeah, it's so interesting because it's like, I feel like they really don't talk about like their relationship that much.
right.
Like, even in interviews they have together, like you can kind of tell that they're dating,
Yeah.
but they really don't answer a lot of personal questions. Like it's mostly like about their work and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's really hard to know.
Yeah, I think, but at the same time, marriage, I feel like it's also a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if they're dating and it's like kept away from us, who really cares?
Yeah.
But then if it's like marriage, because that's a step next,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, why is that being hidden?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe they want to like enjoy it. Maybe they think that if they somehow keep it a secret, they're going to have like less paparazzi following them around. Like, I don't really know how that works, but it is interesting that whenever the AI photos came out of the wedding, Zendaya wasn't like, oh, we're not married. She just said that the photos were AI. So I'm
Right.
like, is she evading the question? Is she
Yeah.
trying to lead us in a way that away from the fact that they are married, just to, you know,
Yeah.
I don't know.
She didn't confirm or deny it.
She didn't confirm or deny.
Which is very interesting, because I feel like if you aren't married and people are speculating, you want to be like, guys, like, we're not married, but there is a plan to, you know. But
Yeah.
even if you don't plan on getting married, you can like put that out, like, we don't plan on getting married.
yeah, I feel like if they weren't married, she would have just said, guys, we aren't married.
Yeah,
But she didn't say that. So that's so interesting.
yeah, for sure.
And also, wasn't it her like agent or whatever, or somebody on the red carpet said like that they got married, and that was the way that it started everything.
Yeah,
So I'm like, I feel like he wouldn't have just been pulling that out of thin air, but
I also think like it's such a peculiar situation. Like there's an AI video of you getting married.
Yeah.
That's really
that's
crazy.
crazy.
So maybe it's like in the moment, all she think about is AI. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
To me, that's how I think about it. But at the same time, did she address it? Did she not? She didn't say they weren't married. So.
right.
Well, like, that's gotta make her like super dumbfounded, low key, if she just sees like this random video of her getting married that's like obviously didn't happen.
Right.
She's like, oh, I need to address this first before I even get like all my mental bandwidth is going to defending that this video isn't of me.
Right.
So that's
Yeah.
Maybe she was just like so like, oh my gosh, like what is this? That she
Yeah.
was just like, I'm not even gonna talk about whether we're married or not.
Yeah.
But anyways, that brings us to our second question, which is, how much do you feel like celebrities like owe to the public? Like kind of what you're saying, Solomon, about like if they are married, you feel like we almost have a right to know that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, I don't think celebrities really owe anybody anything unless like, I mean, every celebrity has a decent size of whatever type of fan base, you know? I don't think they particularly owe their fan base anything, but like, I think with something like marriage being that big, especially with two people that are really that big in one of the next big movies coming out, I think that's a thing that like they would have talked about or would have been mentioned, you know, especially like how the dynamics work in the movie between Zendaya and I think there's like another guy in the picture with Spider-Man, I'm pretty sure. So
I
like
didn't know that.
I have no clue. Yeah.
I think that's what's happening in the movie. So especially with something like that, I think that might have been addressed, you know,
Yeah.
or should have been addressed.
For sure. I don't think celebrities owe us like anything when it comes to that matter. But I feel like back in like the 90s, like that was a very big thing. Like obviously like none of us were alive during the 90s, but you see like other news articles of being like, oh, like Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt are now dating. And, you know, it was just a big deal of like hearing celebrities like getting married and then getting a divorce. But now in today's age, like it's still a big deal, but not as big of a deal as it was back in the day.
Yeah, I think in a way it could be like a way of protecting their relationship because it's like if they don't say a lot, then they don't have to take a lot back, if that makes sense. Like if it doesn't work out. And I think a lot of times relationships do fall apart just because of like the amount of pressure that they have on them to work out from like fans or whatever. So maybe they're just like, let's see if this works like organically and not like let the public so much have a say in it.
Yeah, I feel like people also, in terms of like relationships with like a lot of celebrities, from what I've seen, a lot of them haven't worked out. I feel like fans could tie into that a lot, where like fans kind of care too much about what goes on. And say something bad happens, like what was that one relationship? The guy, Johnny Depp, and what was it? The girl's name?
Amber Heard. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
say there's a situation like that happens.
Yeah.
That's a whole, you know, another thing that happens.
And then everyone's like taking sides and saying like, no, it was Johnny, no, it was Amber.
Yeah.
Like, and that whole thing was like wild. Like that lasted for months.
Yeah.
And like, who knows if we knew for sure that they were married and something did happen, like it would be so much bigger of a deal than if they had just broken up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And maybe they don't want that to happen. Maybe they don't want people to take sides. Personally, I don't want to take a side because I love them both, but
Yeah.
it definitely could be a big thing. But I also think it's like I was saying earlier, like it's really important for them to keep some parts of their life like private because that way they can actually like be normal people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like celebrities are constantly like people know where they are every second of every day. And so it's like I feel like if I was a celebrity, I would want to keep some things to myself and say like, oh, I'm going to Kroger right now and I don't want everybody to know. Like I just want to go
Yeah.
and like be in my sweatpants or whatever and not have to worry. And maybe that's like part of it is like they don't want more publicity. Yeah. And I also think that their relationship is, I think the fact that they haven't said a lot about their relationship to the public, like kind of points me to the fact that it is a little bit more real. Because if it were for PR, I feel like they would be posting so much on Instagram, doing so many interviews together and saying like so many private details about their life. And they're really not. Like they really don't say a lot. Like the only things we get are like little tidbits of like they're like at a game and there's like a picture of them together or whatever. So yeah
I think it's interesting, or more in the fact that they've done well like keeping their relationship a secret and still being relevant to their audiences. Like obviously like they're in big blockbuster movies, but even outside of that, like they've still remained relevant to their audiences while keeping those things secrets, and just like they're pretty much just clocking in for the day, clocking out, and then like you said, just showing up to like baseball games or football games together, and that's all you get. So I think they've done a really good job with that.
Well, like also I think it's unfair, like because everyone has a different like work life than at home. And so it's unfair to expect like celebrities to take their work everywhere they go when they're kind of already are. So I think it is important to like view work as work, but celebrities are just, I think it's hard because people do get really attached to them as a person, you know? And so it's not just like they act and like people are like, okay, good job. Like everyone's seeing it. Multiple people are like getting on the bandwagon of like, do you like this person or not? And then they feel like they kind of have to uphold that standard all the time, like not just when they're at work.
Right.
So yeah, I think it is like, I think we need to be a little bit more fair in like what we expect of them, you know?
Yeah.
Because they're real people too.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next question is, do we think that the celebrities want to be super private? Like, do we think that, or do you think it varies based on the celebrity? Or like, how do you really balance that? Like, do we think that Zendaya and Tom Holland are doing a good job of that? I think they are, but just like, I don't know.
I think it depends on the individual. I think for both of them, especially Zendaya, has been like every single show, not every single show, but she's been in a lot of shows growing up since she was like super young. I can't really say the same for Tom Holland, but maybe he was like in a lot of stuff growing up. So like at some point, it's like, this is your life. Like your life is basically just you being super famous. And from a young age, you really haven't had that much privacy. So now that you're like in a relationship with somebody else that's like super popular as well, that's something you probably want to keep to yourself some more private. But then it depends on the person. Like, for example, like there's, say you're another celebrity, they get like super new into like being a celebrity. Like they're in one show, that show goes really big, and now they're like in the limelight. They might want to do every interview, every rumor, or like just anytime they could like just paparazzi anywhere they want to take a picture or something. So I guess it just depends on the person, or maybe how long you've been in the industry. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think that like the more you kind of have to defend a relationship, the more it's like a little bit sus to me. Cause it's like, why are you having to explain so much about the relationship? Like, I feel like if it's real, kind of what I was saying earlier, then you can just like let it be what it is. And you don't have to say like, well, oh, this meant this or this meant this or whatever. Like that's kind of screams PR to me.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it honestly varies on the individual. Like, you know, there are some celebrities, like Solomon was saying, like, who really want to be in the spotlight 24/7. And then there are some celebrities who, kind of like Tom Holland and Zendaya, who tend to be in the background, but yet again are still relevant to their audiences. But also there are some individuals who go back and forth, depending on what movies or shows they've been in. I'm trying to think of an example. Like, maybe Winona Ryder, like her being kind of big in the 80s, and then coming back with Stranger Things. And so like her being like in the media again is kind of a good example because she's been again relevant, but has been kind of in the background for how many ever years until Stranger Things came out.
And I think it like speaks to the character of the celebrity that you're able to not need fame all the time. Like the ones that do seem to be like milking it a little bit, that's like concerning versus the ones that are like, oh, I actually want to have a normal life. I don't need fame all the time. Like that's just like a green flag to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially like, because you're looking at celebrities like cool people or people you like. So if you see somebody that's like, I mean, none of us have ever really been that famous, but if I'm looking at a guy that just wants to be in every interview, seems like super thirsty to be like all the attention, I'm like, especially the type of guy I am, I'm like, that's not somebody I really want to follow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But like in terms of like Tom Holland, I'm like, it seems like a cool guy because like not everything he does is like, I mean, everything he kind of does is on camera.
Right.
But like his life that he lives, say with Zendaya or when he's at home, you don't really know about. And I think that's good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons why everybody loves them so much, because they do seem down to earth and they seem like actual real people that you could just talk to on the street. You know, like there's so many celebrities that I'm like they're Kardashians. Like nobody actually would want to hang out with them. I mean, I wouldn't, you know, and it's because the fame's like gone to their head. And it's just like with these two, I just feel like they're really doing a good job of like staying humble. I mean, maybe it's a front and maybe they're really not, like, I don't know what's going on in their head, but I think that they're doing a really good job of separating like their work and what they do from like who they are, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our next question is, if you were famous, would you be okay with parts of your life always being public? Or like, do you feel like that's a choice that they made like day one? Or do you feel like at some point you should be able to just be done with the public eye, life in the public eye? Because especially like when people like Zendaya, they were so young. She was so young when she started acting. And it was like, did she really even know what she was agreeing to?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a kid, you probably don't really understand because, like, at the same time, like, it's a job, but you're just having fun. Probably, that's probably what it is. You're just having fun. You're acting. I mean, the money's probably not going straight to your pocket at that stage. So it's like, you're just enjoying it. It's fun. But I guess when you get older, I feel like you just know. And it's like, your life is going to be public. Like, it's just what it is. I mean, almost your whole life is on the screen. Depending on what movies you do, how many movies you do, people know you for being on a screen, you know? And that obviously comes with, say, the show or movie is super good. You have to go to events. You have to do all sorts of things. So, I mean, yeah, I think it comes with being famous is that your life is going to be public. But I think at the same time, you should try to keep some of your things in your life private, you know?
Well, I think of like actresses like Emma Watson. Like she low-key dropped off the grid
Yeah.
for like so long. And I think that like they should be able to have that choice, and people were like questioning it and being like, why is she, you know, where is she? Why don't we know any information about her? And it's like, I feel like you should be able to make the choice of like what you share, how much you share, and especially when it comes to something like a relationship.
Yeah, I also feel like now with social media, you can make your life as private or as public as you want it to be. Like, I don't know if you know about, like, that one, she's, like, a figure skating? I think it's Alyssa Liu or something.
Yeah.
She won, like, the
Oh,
gold
that
medal.
sounds-
Yeah.
Yeah, like, bro, she blew up overnight to, like, have, like, over 5 million followers.
Yeah.
And she was just, like, a regular college student. Because I remember she stopped figure skating because she was like, this is too much. I just want to go to school.
Yeah.
And she came back to do figure skating, won a gold medal. Now she's, like, super popular.
Yeah.
You know? So it's, like, with social, and then also people are, like, upset at her on social media because she's not as active as people think she should be. Well, it's her choice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, in that scenario, I don't feel like she really got a choice because it's like
Yeah.
she's just doing the sport and the thing that she loved.
Yeah.
And it's like she didn't ask to become famous for that.
Yeah.
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 She just wanted to like excel. And that's another question of like, I know we talked about this earlier, but like, do they truly know what they're agreeing to when they agree to be in the public eye like this? Or is it more of just like they kind of figure it out as they go? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it, like Solomon was saying, it depends on the individual and it depends on what age you were when you got into the industry. So I know, like, obviously I don't know them personally, but like, you know, let's say Zendaya starting out with Disney Channel, like, you know, she was old enough and competent enough to know what she's signing on for. But I know, like, maybe for some of the kids on Stranger Things, they didn't know what they were signing
They're
up for.
so young. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't Millie Bobby Brown? She was like, what, 9, 10?
Yeah, yeah. Like in the beginning,
So
like
little.
yeah, like sometimes they don't know like what they're signing up for, like with the things that they have to do, like maybe the stunts or whatever. And the parents were like, "Yeah, I mean, it'll be a nice paycheck for us, but you know, it just depends on the individual."
Yeah. I think like that goes along with the like question of like, is it okay for parents to put their, you know, very little kids in the public eye like that? And I think it's good that people are kind of like Zendaya and Tom Holland seem to be like kind of like putting boundaries in place now of like, we're adults, and now that we are adults and we can make our own decisions, like we want to have like some things that are just to ourselves, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's
Yeah.
like,
I feel like it's just one of those things where like when you're famous and like you're grown, everything changes when you're younger, you know? I mean, it could come from like if a parent is putting, like you said earlier, like when parents put their kids in like, I think you said it anyway, but when parents put their kids in like acting, I mean, it could be, some parents could be looking for a paycheck, but if you're a parent, you want like, if your kid's good at acting or your kid's super theatrical, you want to like do something that's going to make the kid happy
Yeah.
or show the kid's talents.
Yeah.
But then in some circumstances, it could lead to like, oh, boy, my child actually really good at this. I could make a lot of money off of this.
Yeah.
You know, then it could mess with, you know, stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you don't want to do this sort of like, I love how we're like getting into like parenting, but
Yeah.
you don't want to like do this sort of parenting where it's just like, this makes me look good, or I'm kind of like vicariously living out my dreams through my kid. And therefore, like, because that can be really detrimental to the kid's mental health, I think, because you're putting so much performance pressure on them of like, you have to do really well, you have to be famous. And like, honestly, I feel like we were talking about this kind of the other day of like, if Zendaya and Tom Holland do have kids, like maybe it is a good thing that they're keeping things private because they want their kids to have the choice of whether or not to, because they had the choice, you know.
Right.
I think we've established that earlier. Like Zendaya was old enough to have the choice. Tom seems like he was old enough to have the choice. He was like 17 in the first Spider-Man, I think.
Yeah.
And it's like, but their kids, like by virtue of just being their kids, are going to get some publicity.
Yeah.
And so maybe they want to keep this all private so that if they do have kids, they can kind of just like keep it to themselves a little bit and not have so much pressure on it.
Yeah, kind of on the same lines of that is that recently I've seen like people who I follow, if they have pictures with their kids, like they'll almost blur their kids like faces out or like put like a heart emoji or something. And I like at first I was like, man, like I want to see like their kid, but also like I get it because you want to keep their appearance private because that's their private life. And so I get that sometimes that they just want to keep things private when they need to be.
Yeah, and I also feel like now that if they're married and say they're getting married, would that mean they would be done acting? You know, because there's obviously some roles in my head you can't take if you're married to somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So would that end their acting careers, especially if Zendaya decides to have kids? Would that mean she's done acting? You know, or would that mean Tom's done acting? It's all like, that's a big situation. So maybe that's why they don't want to let people know that, hey, we're married.
That's true.
Well, also like if you're right and if they are stepping back a little bit or even taking the more like traditional like view of life, which is like, I just want to be a mother, I just want to be a father and you know, be with my kids all the time. Like, I feel like Hollywood would not like that. Like Hollywood is not a big fan. They would probably be like, why are you doing this? Like, they don't I don't think that they understand. Honestly, I think it's a little bit surprising that Zendaya and Tom Holland are even married because I feel like marriage, especially in Hollywood, like isn't really like valued. Like you can just like live together and it's fine.
Yeah.
So that was a really interesting point that you brought up of like, what does this, if they are married, like what does this mean for them going forward? But I also think like it comes down to like personal preferences with like what are personal convictions sort of like what you think, because I was interested to know what you thought of when you said like you felt like there were some roles that they couldn't take on if they were married.
I mean, the way I think about it, like say Tom is doing another movie and it involves like a woman in it. And it's like, say there's like he has a relationship with that woman in the movie. I mean, he's probably a good enough actor where it could just be, it's just acting. It's just acting. But in my head, say if I was an actor and that was my wife, that's a role I probably wouldn't take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like, and then vice versa, if that was Zendaya, you know, it's just something I think about.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, I think also because like they became friends like on the set of like Spider-Man and like kind of, I guess their on-screen chemistry kind of turned into like real chemistry.
Right.
So it's kind of like the same thing of you were saying of the same thing could happen again with somebody else, but you know, they're married now. So it's like that would be obviously problematic. But that honestly brings up another question of maybe they're trying to keep the marriage private from kind of everyone so they will still get roles. Like maybe that doesn't bother them. You know what I mean? Like maybe it would complicate it a little bit if they were like, oh yeah, we're married. Because then people would be more like, kind of walking eggshells. We don't know. Like, you're not so free to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, at the end of the day, we don't really know
Yeah.
if they're married or if they're not married,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know,
It's true.
which I think is a really, really good talking point.
Yeah.
That you could like form different ideas, whether they're married or whether they're not, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I also think in the this culture, like it's easy to like have all these hypotheses of like, oh my gosh, like this person is married, these people are together, and in a way, it's like, first of all, it's none of our business, and second of all, like, why do we care so much? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I've just like, it's important, I think, to like be living in your own life too, and thinking about why does this matter so much to me that these people that I don't know are married, are not married, are together? Like, why do I care so much about their life, you know?
Yeah.
So, all right, last question.
Yeah. So if you end up becoming a star, like you yourself, is there some sort of understanding that, well, I think we already touched on this, but if you ended up becoming a star, would you want to be in the public eye or not? Like, would you be like Tom Holland and Zendaya and be kind of like secretive, or do you want to be like all out, like in the public eye?
I think there's a fine line you have to like draw with
Yeah.
that. I mean, I'm not a celebrity, but if I was, I would think there's a fine line you have to draw
Yeah.
in like being private, like Zendaya and Tom Holland, or because you don't want to. I guess you don't want to like lose interest of people, you know. So there's a fine. I mean, they're popular enough where they probably won't lose much interest. But like, say you're like a regular celebrity, you don't want like people to lose interest in you just because your whole life is, or you're basically not there outside the movies, you know. So I think
Yeah.
there's a fine line you have to draw.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really interesting balance, because I feel like if I was in a relationship that I was excited about, I would want to talk about it, but at the same time, it's not like you're not living a normal life where you can just like talk about things to your friends and it just be fun. You know, it's like the whole world is watching this. So in a way, I feel like I would share a little bit, but like definitely not as much as I would like if I was just like living a normal life.
Yeah.
And you also have to be careful, because there's been so many times, you know, like on TikTok where there's like a tiny little clip of something a celebrity said that just gets like taken out of proportion.
Yeah.
And I think like similar things could happen with, you know, Zendaya and Tom Holland if they're like, oh, I'm in a relationship with her because of this or whatever. So maybe that's what they're doing, is they're trying to kind of avoid it altogether by just like not really saying anything at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd want to have like a good mix of both. Like maybe when I'm starting out in the industry, and be like kind of like all in the interviews, and then once I start like getting my feet wet and like getting used to everything, I'd want to like retract a little bit. I feel like Tom Holland and Zendaya are like almost a really good example of having like things public versus having things private, which that kind of like wraps our conversation into a little bow. So I think they are like almost the model couple of what celebrities should do if they want to keep things private.
We love them.
Yeah.
And that was the hot seat. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next time.